Welcome back to the channel, y'all. You're watching Krawler Kingdom. I'm Jesse. Today I'm going to go ahead and start working on my JKU. I've had a problem for a little over a year now that I've been lucky enough to not have to address, but I'm about to come up to have to register again, and I'm trying to get this taken care of and not push my luck about passing emissions. So what problem am I talking about? Well, it happens on the instrument cluster, but it's the fuel system. Now, when I went ahead and I dual triangulated the rear of this thing, I put a Motobilt fuel tank in here, fuel cell that goes underneath in the back of the Jeep. Well, everything went well for the first little bit, but after about 6 months, 7 months or something like that, maybe a little less, I started getting a gas cap, replace gas cap message on my dash. And then that turned into a severe Evap leak. I think that's what it's called. Now, the severe Evap leak, luckily last year, the battery had died because I left it in there and something was draining it. I think I left something plugged into the cigarette lighter that's always on. After it had died and sat there for months like that, and I charged it back up, it had permanently cleared all the codes better than you would if you just tried to go ahead and clear it through one of those programmers that you have on that. I took it to get tested for emissions, and I didn't have enough mileage on it, and I had to go ahead and drive it. So I had to do the 50-mile minimum to go ahead and get the computer to cycle the read. Luckily enough, it cycled it so that way it was able to read the emissions without triggering the actual warning light. Cue the next trip where the light came back on after I'd driven it a little bit and went ahead and went into the severe Evap leak. Now, when I got back, I did end up changing the actual gas cap because when I was on a side hill leaning into the driver, I did have some gas spilling out over on it, which not good. So I went ahead and replaced the gas cap, but I still have that leak. So now it's time to go to the back of the Jeep and take a look at the actual venting system and try to go ahead and do it properly. And I'm going to go ahead and share what I'm doing. All right, here's the hatch that I went ahead and installed to get to it. Now, I've already made some adjustments and I'm getting ready to do the rest. Now, I had the rollover valve right there, and this one was plugged. So I went and got another rollover valve, and I've now tubed them together. I've had this one right here in that, and all it was is a little loop, trying to get it like if it was upside down. Where I didn't understand is going ahead and doing what would be considered a four down or four side down or whatever it is, whatever they call it. Anyways, the best vent's right out of the middle. So I'm going to run some tubing to the outside edge of this tank and go one side, two side, three side, four side, and then come back out here because I put my Evap can right here. So I'll complete the four side, make a little loop. So that way, if it goes upside down, not only should those stop it because the balls will go in it, but if I have a loop that's almost to the bottom of this tank, if it's not all the way full, nothing can escape. And then I'll run it into the actual Evap canister that's over under here for the JKU. And let's see if this solves it out. Here's a closer look right here. So I went ahead and I got some of the tape and then also some of the compound to go into that. And just ran a 1/4 inch, threw in the new one, 1/4 inch. And then I have it stubbed out here. And that's where I'm going to add some more 1/4 inch tube. Now, where it goes into my thing is actual 5/16. So I have a 1/4 inch to 5/16 hose here. I'll run a little stub here and then take this all the way around, loop it, and then go in there. And then we'll go ahead and start it, see if that clears up any of the issues or if there's really some of the components. I bought another one of those white switches under here, which I'll show you, because some people say those get cracked, get messed up, but I need this thing to pass emissions so I can get to work finishing the CJ. Here's where it goes in right now on that breather into the whatever that thing's called. And then that's the little loop I put in it. So it's like, for guesses, it doesn't even extend to the bottom of that. So I don't think you need to have that kind of loop. I think you need to go around the tank and then have it patched back in right here. So that's what I'm going to go ahead and do is start in the middle, come out and around here. But I have that adapter going in, so I'm going to take the end of this, which I've already patched together. It's my 5/16 to 1/4. And then I'll go ahead and put the 5/16 to the end of that. And then we'll start running it around the tank up there. And then I might, see how I have these? These sticky things are great until it wears out. So I ended up using some of this black silicone, and it holds it so the stuff doesn't come off. So if you're ever doing like the 3M crap under your rig, I always just recommend, I don't know if I now recommend using some silicone underneath there when you squish it on to let it dry. And then that way I can make sure that the breather tube doesn't shift around while I'm wheeling, and can make sure it sticks out past the edge of the tank. So let's go ahead and get that end off right there. And then I'll pull out this piece of tubing and we'll get cranking. Okay, I went ahead and cut this, well, undid the thing and cut it off. Here's my little loop. And this was the adapter that I used. I don't remember what size it was or what the heck it was. It might have just been a threaded one, but I got this piece of tube to adapt from the part that clips onto the actual part, and then that's a 1/4 or 5/16 adapter. So we'll go ahead and get the end of this baby cake on here, and then tighten her down, and then we'll get back underneath the Jeep and start getting it wrapped around. I got that pushed back on and have it fed through. And this thing can rotate, so like whatever angle this ends up at, I'll unscrew it or whatever to get it right. But I shoved all the 5/16 and have the 1/4 sitting in here up over the cross member in the rear. Now this is the part that I guess kind of gets messed up, is this thing that I have a replacement for. But first I'm going to do this, see if this does anything. I mean, there was a heavy gas smell coming out of here. As soon as I get this routed and tied in, I'm going to take this off, because if I have been flooding any gas in here, I want it to kind of off gas and vent and do what it's got to do. These are expensive, so hopefully I don't have to buy a new one, but there's worse things in the world. All right, here we are in the back. Here's the out right there, and this has kind of been wiggled all the way around already from feeding it in. The one part that's going to be a little bit harder is in the back here, because the tank drops down and goes around this segment here. I'll have to kind of reach underneath in the back to do that, but I'm going to go ahead and start making sure and tucking around here and seeing if we can get it all the way outside of everything. So just reaching up underneath on all these areas and get this wrapped around. Now, gotta get that around the whole thing. This is the error we're trying to go ahead and cure. Okay, the next thing I'm going to be replacing is the Evap valve. I have the stock bend that was in here that was on it. This connects to your Evap valve. What I'm going to do, because I kept the end piece that plugs into here, I'm going to heat this up. That's my heat gun going right there. And I'm going to try to see if I can straighten this out. One of the things that I believe I remember from it saying is that the Evap canister has to be a certain distance from all these something else, which means these hose lines might have been too long. So I think I had it too long, because I had it going along that driver's side, come down, loop around and go in this, because this was facing like this, so I had it at 90 degrees. So I'm going to straighten this out, see if I can. If not, what I'll do is I'll remove that valve and melt it into this straightaway, so it'll be a little stub adapter on here. This is cracking a little bit. I don't think that's going to be an issue, honestly, because it plugs in all the way deep into here. Okay, I got it cut off. I tried to bend it straight and it started kinking up a bit. So I got this thing cut off, and I heated up the end with the heat gun, and then was able to twist this in and kind of heat it up and squeeze it a little bit. So it should be pretty good. And then here's the tip that was in the stock hose that I removed that goes into there, and this slides in perfectly. This is how much length of hose that I'm removing, which is like 2.5, maybe 3 feet of hose, which is unnecessary. And I think in the Evap system, that's kind of a bad thing. So I'm going to go ahead and shove this end into the hose up to that, which is, it's uber tight. Like I had to cut it out. And then once that's in, this part will go back onto the new one. I have to figure out how this comes off. Might just be a twist. I got the stock one out, and the trick is when it's sitting up in there, you have to pull this back. So you had to like fit your little finger up in there and suck it all the way back in there through the paint, and then just a quarter turn, and then it pops out. So there's a little like locking area. And then this one, this is the stock one. This one's got back and forth. So you see the little mechanism in there. It goes down. So I'm not sure if that's normal or how that works, or there's a certain amount of pressure needed or what have you. The Dorman one, so this is definitely not the same exact makeup. It's got an upper and a lower, and there's no wobbling. Another quick call out, I just pulled out the existing gasket, and it's like a squared up one. Let's see if I can get this flashlight out of here. So it's like a square gasket, it's just sitting in there. That's got an indentation. Whereas the one that they replaced it with Dorman's round. Hopefully this thing works. All right, we got that thing twisted in there, and the hose plugged in. It's running a direct route right here back to the actual filler area. So it should be a lot more legit, hopefully, as far as length goes. This was a bit harder to twist in. I had to push harder because that gasket's brand new. And then it wasn't as positive of a click up top where that tab's at. So I kind of pushed it a little hard, went a little past it, and came back. So it looks like you can quarter turn it either way to take it off. You can go this way or that way. I think I actually originally went that way to get it off, so I should have twisted it this way, but well, you guys, I've given it all I can think of right now. The only thing left would be to replace this unit, which I have before in the past, but I don't think they're too expensive, but I'll have to do some more research. I did learn that blowing smoke through this top one is your intake motor side vac, and then this lower is for your gas tank and everything back there. The only thing I was getting any kind of smoke out at the gas tank, there's like a vent that the tube that I just shortened goes to down in here, right off the gas tank filler. It's like literally, I don't know if you can see it. I'll try to turn around and show you. I don't know. I'm going to have to do some research. If you guys have any knowledge or any understanding or what should be done, and you fix this, it's not any line being cut. It's not anything like that. The gas cap's actually a factory one. So it is a Mopar Jeep one. I did order off of Amazon, but it came in the right stuff. So I don't know. I'm at a loss. If you guys have any ideas, let me know.